so many things we don't know. We'll remember our journey home. Everyone, even him, becomes silhouettes. You and I, when I'm growing old, there's some things we can't protect and hold. Don't let go, we both know we'll never give it up. So many things we don't know. We'll remember our journey home. Everyone, even him, becomes silhouettes. And one last time our shadows dance within the wind. Like a leaf will always float away.
Konnichiwa. And gozaimasu. To all of our watchers and listeners out there in the world. This is
When you
Alexa.
live in Tokyo.
This is Alex-san. Joined with me is Jayami-san. Hi.
Tokyo.
The reason we're being so racist is because of the brilliant animated jar intro. The anime opening that someone, let me get Sir Draws, that's his name. I was blanking on it for a minute. Did. Very impressive.
It's
We
unbelievably good.
Well, they spent like 7 months on it,
Yeah.
so you bloody hope so.
Yeah.
It is good. It is very good.
And it's not a Duke Nukem situation. I've been waiting for this for 7 years.
Hey.
It better be good.
I can't do Duke Nukem. I don't really know
Nobody
anything
can.
about Duke Nukem. Or
All I know is that he's funny.
all I know is that he's not funny at all, and his
Indeed.
game was awful. His latest one, his last one, and he was a pre-order bonus for some game recently.
He
A
was.
re-release of some game. A Gearbox released. Gearbox are rubbish, basically.
Did you see that thing about Randy Pitchford and Jim Sterling?
Yeah, pretending to forget his name.
Yeah.
You can find that on Jim Sterling's channel if you're interested in that.
That was funny.
So this is episode 80 beep something, I don't know.
87?
I think you're right.
Broadcast episode 2?
Broadcast episode
What?
2 or 3. It's
2
like
and a half.
2.5, yeah. Basically, James is a big baby. Couldn't make it today for reasons unknown. And Ruben obviously couldn't make it because he's at uni at the moment. If he could teleport, then he could be here, but
He's very busy making documentaries.
So, Jim, did anything happen in the last week? This is so weird because, like, when we record these, it's actually, like, a couple of weeks ahead.
Yeah.
So, like, last...
It really fucks with your head.
Yeah, it's really
It
confusing.
feels like we step into like a time booth when we step in
We're,
this
like, going
room.
back. We have to think, oh, we can't say that thing's going to happen because we're actually behind a little bit.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of being prompt, because we missed one once. And we were all like, no.
It's quite shameful, really.
Yeah. We missed
Like
one of
the
our
one
free
thing of the
contents
week.
once. So this is a way of preventing that. So if something happened, like tragedy happened, like
Tragedy.
say Max
Give it a
farted
bit.
so hard it killed me, we'll give you a week more
To bring you back.
to
To argue
do something.
for, to bring you back.
Ask me what movie I just finished watching.
What song did you just finish listening to?
I think you
I
meant
hope
to say
it was an
movie.
80s hit. Great song.
Minions. I watched not the Minions movie. I watched the new film with Minions in it, Despicable Me 3.
AKA the Minions movie.
Don't watch it.
Was it
Really,
good?
it's as simple as that. It's so awful.
What would you give it out of 5?
Being a meme or being serious? If I
Being
was an
for
actual
real.
critic.
Being actually for real this time.
A 1. I thought it was awful.
Damn.
They were just let's do a little role play, because like this is how arcs work in the Despicable Me franchise, especially in the third one. I'm Gru, you're Gru's brother. I'm angry at you. The reasons don't matter. I'm going to tell you what to say. Okay, ready?
Okay.
I'm really angry at you. And then you say, I'm really angry at you too.
I'm really angry at you too.
You're the worst. And then you say, well, you're a dumb idiot.
Well, you're a dumb idiot.
Okay, next scene. I'm sorry I said that, brother. I forgive you. And then you say, no, it was me who said it. I forgive you as well.
No, it was me who said it. I forgive you as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more depth than Cars 2.
I don't know about that.
I haven't seen Cars 2. So.
I've seen it years ago, and it was... I don't know if I want to say equally dreadful. But, like, this obsession with minions has to end.
Yeah.
Because I was, like, really thinking... They have no purpose in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they affect nothing. They're only thrown in there to have random scenes. Quite literally random scenes.
Yeah. It's like the difference between...
Sorry, continue.
It's like the difference between the slugs in Flushed Away and the rabbits in Curse of the Were-Rabbit. You know? 'Cause
Explain.
the rabbits
You
are,
gotta remind me a
an
little bit.
integral part to the story
They are the story.
of the Were-Rabbit.
Yeah.
So, like, you can have as much humour with them as
They're
you want.
way less random. They don't have whole scenes dedicated to them. They don't have the.
But
They don't have a B plot with the rabbits like being random and singing and dancing.
Yeah. But, like...
The slugs didn't either and flushed away.
Nah, they sang Be Happy, though.
Yeah, that was a bit, embarrassing. But
Yeah.
animated movies like have always had they have to have that like creature, that thing that is like annoying, but the kids love it.
Yeah.
And they've just taken it with the Minions, and they've seen the success that they got the spin-off movie. Like it's like giving the slugs from Flushed Away their own movie.
Yeah.
It's like the raving rabbits, Rayman raving rabbits. I don't know why Rayman is thrown in there because I actually like Rayman. But
I
the
like
rabbits,
Rayman now. Old Rayman suck.
I fucking hate the rabbits because they're just minions. They're just rabbit minions.
Fun bit of trivia.
Can you imagine a rabid movie? A raving rabbits movie?
I can. It would be the Minions movie, but with like a different skin.
Yeah. What were you saying, sorry?
But yeah, fun bit of trivia. James used to be great at doing like the rabbit's voice.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. Do you remember that?
He'd do it perfectly.
He could do it like fucking spot on. It was so weird.
It was really quite bizarre that he could do that.
Like, so I feel like they use some sort of voice
They do.
enhancement thing for the rabbits, but James could
He
just
could just
like,
do it.
Yeah.
This was like like a decade ago now, but
Yeah.
probably can't do it anymore. Next time he's on, we'll have to remember.
No, because his voice obviously was like high pitched.
Yeah, 'cause, when you're in like year 8, you're gonna have a high pitched baby voice. There's this thing they do with the Minions where they're really inappropriate.
Really.
The B plot in Despicable Me 3 is they go to prison.
Yeah, I remember seeing that shit.
So they're raping people in the showers. They're running drugs through the prison. All the things that you get up to in real life prison is what happens. And they try to like characterize visually some of the inmates. And it's like, these people could be in here for like murdering children. It's just a weird... They did it in the Minions movie as well. They like play in a torture chamber and jump through the hoop of a
noose.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ, like that's not really the kind of imagery you want children to be seeing, surely.
No, that's like a really bad message.
Yeah.
Like playing around with torture tools and stuff.
Yeah, that one is really stupid, and like who thought that was a good idea? And taking them to prison is an equally stupid idea, and they're just assholes as well. The Minions are assholes. They're like walking down the street. No, they're in Gru's brother's secret lair with all these statues of like the Gru family through the ages. And there's one that's like a woman that's got big boobs. And one of the minions looks at it and goes, or whatever. And it's like, kids are gonna copy that.
Yeah.
It's really irresponsible to do things like that.
And the SJWs wonder why everyone's sexist.
Yeah, the Minions. They're
Minions.
ruining the world.
Despicable Me.
It was an embarrassing film. I hate the kid stuff.
Yeah, I've always hated that shit.
die and explode. It's so adorable. Yeah. It's just an embarrassing, awful film.
It's so pandering.
That is the
But,
word
like,
for it.
What annoying dibby is there in like Toy Story?
Toy Story is like the upper echelon best
Yeah.
animated stuff is the thing.
But what about Monsters Inc?
They have lots of comic relief characters. In Monsters Inc., it's just the gimmicks of some of the monsters that are shown for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just the gimmick. Like child-friendly thing. Or I guess Boo in that movie is almost like that, because she's the sort of one the kids like, the random...
I don't know if she is though. I feel like Mike Wazowski is the funny...
Well, the thing is,
one
because
kid's
it's
like-
actually like written like a movie with characters, you can actually have the characters do comedic things instead of
I
like...
just think it's unfair to say like kid cartoons.
Okay, badly
always-
written ones do.
Yeah.
Well, there are some that I don't mind. Like, I don't mind Morph in Treasure Planet. Remember
Is
that
that
little
the robot?
squibbler? No, I fucking hate the robot.
Yeah, the
It's
robots suck.
The pink splooge.
Yeah. No, the pink splooge
That's fine.
is... Yeah, he's good.
It goes, Space Waffles, Space Waffles.
Disney's got some pretty bad ones.
Disney is like the one, the stereotype one for that. They're really bad for it.
They do it in like all of their...
Literally
Like, even
everyone.
the most
They've got
recent
like
ones.
their rigid character types where
Mhm.
you just throw them all in, and there's just a new one of that exact same thing.
Hey, we're gonna throw a curveball this time by not
Making-
being extremely sexist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, how revolutionary.
Like, even Moana had one.
Yeah,
It was like a chicken.
dibby.
It was a dibby dibby chicken. It was way less annoying than like a minion, but
Mhm.
they're just unnecessary. The one in Frozen's pretty lame as well. The
Olaf.
reindeer. The reindeer and Olaf.
Yeah, Olaf sucks.
Why does Olaf suck? Have you even seen Frozen?
I've seen the majority of Frozen.
Yeah.
I got to the part where the I don't know her name.
The blonde one or the
No, the other one.
Elsa?
No, that's Elsa's the blonde one.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she is.
Isn't she called...
No, Spider-Man and Elsa. Elsa's the blonde one. The Frost Queen.
Aren't they both blonde then?
No, one of them has brown hair.
Oh. I meant Elsa.
What?
Is the one I said.
Elsa is the witch.
The witch. The one with the ice powers.
Yeah.
Let it grow. That one.
Yeah, that's Elsa.
Yeah. Okay.
The other one, like, finally reaches the ice tower.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, make the frozen go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then Elsa's like, I don't know how. And then Olaf's dancing around like, I want to fucking die. Somebody kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all funny and stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't get on with Frozen.
No.
Not my kind of film.
No, it was just like the exact same shit, but
They're like self-aware of it.
yeah.
That we're not going to do it this time.
Well, yeah.
Well,
And we're going to make the good guy the bad guy. Really flipping it on its head this time.
Even though, like, Titan AE did that.
Titan A.
Remember that fucking weird film?
No.
It had, like, Treasure Planet animation 2D with, like, CG mixed in.
Yeah.
And it had all that, like, cringy early 2000s rock in it.
Yep. Don't remember.
You never would have
Titan
seen it. I never saw it.
A. Oh, okay.
But I remember watching it once, or trying to watch it, and just being like, nah, this is aged so horribly. I can't sit through it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's annoying that, like, things that animated movies can get away with in comparison
Yeah. Because
to
it's for
anything
babies.
else, just because it is, that always has the excuse of, well, it's just for babies. Because, like, Despicable Me 3, the only people I could say should enjoy it are people under the age of 3 or 4. There's nothing else. That, like,
I could understand like a 10-year-old seeing it and being like, that was funny.
Yeah, because you have no critical capacity until you're,
like,
you know.
I can't imagine a kid like 10 years old being obsessed with that movie.
No. It is too babyish.
Mm-hmm.
It is, because it is so simplistic. There's nothing, because like people think kids are real idiots, but I think they do like characters and stories and things to actually happen that are more than just
Yeah.
you know. There's like no good characters or anything. Everything's so predictable and lame.
Well, that's why there's a difference between SpongeBob and like Baby Time Rock and Roll or whatever's on TV for the babies.
Story time for babies, ABC Baby.
There's like the adult babies, SpongeBob realm, and then there's the baby realm on TV. You know, fellow parents, baby.
Speaking of animation, and of course the animated opening we just had.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good, pretty epic. I don't think I've spoken about it on this show, but I have watched an anime recently.
What anime?
I watched season 2 of Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Not very good.
I
it
think
follows the book pretty accurately, or the manga. But like,
was the manga good?
I remember thinking it was pretty epic. But like, looking at it from a different perspective, it's like big action scenes mean nothing if the characters mean nothing to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the once the gimmick of the show is laid out to you, it needs more. We were just saying about Minions being just dibby. Attack on Titan's just munchy of human legs and shooting around like mad.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's all plot with like no character development, but they kind of for aspects of the plot to work, you have to have investment in the characters.
Yeah.
So there are whole segments that just fall completely flat because the characters are so flat and dull.
I feel like that's kind of a Japanese thing.
Oh, I don't know. Like, trying to think of another one I've seen. It's the trope of just every one of these animes being so exposition heavy.
Yeah. I feel like the perfect mix of things would be for like a Japanese person to come up with like the idea of the world and the overall story. Yeah. But then someone more Western to like write the
a more traditional kind of character development.
Well, just something that can like get you invested. Because I mean, I love Metal Gear. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to love Metal Gear. Yeah. You know, like knowing the story behind it and just what that world is, it really puts me off from... Yeah. Because it has the rep for being so convoluted and ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Every now and again, I think, like, it's not that convoluted. And then I start, like, mapping out the story in my head, and it's like, okay, it's really convoluted. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a bit of a broad statement to say all Japanese writers like that, but
it's
a lot
not
of those,
like that, but
on the level of Attack on Titan sort of shows that come over here, Death Note wasn't like that, actually. There were characters in it you did sort of care about, but again...
I'm not saying you can like never care about characters in like anime and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just a more traditional Japanese storyline, like
But then a lot of Death Note is explaining how everything works.
That's something else I think they're bad at. Need like an editor to just sort of
constantly.
There's no trusting the audience with like any sort of...
It's because they always have these super inventive high concept ideas that need so much explaining to even make sense at all. Mm-hmm. You know, like Attack on Titan, the idea in and of itself is quite bizarre and convoluted.
That's what I love.
You have so much to explain.
Japanese like animes and stuff.
Well, just any kind of storytelling that comes out from there. They're really good at horror. They come up with some really inventive ways to scare people. They're really good at just...
But I mean, even down to like the action in Attack on Titan. Mm-hmm. Like that's so... Like a lot of thought has just gone into that, how that works. They've got the things that fire and then they've got to attack specifically the neck. So that's like all the rules set out and it's fucking like awesome to watch.
Yeah. But the problem comes in is that they have this incredibly elaborate and deep world. They have to start you at a point and explain how everything works. Otherwise, it means nothing to you. I was thinking of like Fury Road, like Mad Max. It's like the total opposite of that, where there's a lot that's inferred about the way the world got to how it was. But then at the same time, it's much easier to wrap your head around, oh, the world's screwed. Like, gas is now one of the most valued resources, and water. Like, that's very simple. You don't have big, giant titans walking around that are trying to eat people. And you have this whole political structure, and, like, it's this allegory for the class system where you have, like, walls and stuff.
Wall classes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is part of like that simplicity, keep it simple, stupid thing as well. Whereas a lot of them never go for that. They always like to keep it as mad as possible. Yeah, for like a lack of a better word. I mean, there is definitely something to appreciate about it. But it does get frustrating when you just see the same tropes just over and over. But these characters,
it's not like there
so
aren't tropes and Western stuff. Like,
oh no, of course,
they're both like
the Western stuff has a different kind of tropes and a different kind of predictability.
They're both extremes on like either side.
Yeah, they both have things that they can like learn from each other. But it's just something I noticed with anime specifically.
I feel like it can be down to translation as well.
Probably does make a big difference like, too.
The exposition and stuff.
I watched the English dub as well. I don't think it was very good.
Oh really?
But yeah, because I don't want to have to like just glance away for a second, look back, and then be like, oh, I just missed like a line of dialogue. I need to rewind now. It is a bit easier with the English dub because some anime does have do have pretty good dubs. Like Cowboy Bebop one is good. Yeah, the Death Note one was good. All of the like Hayao Miyazaki movies have good English dubs. They always get good actors in to do all the voices for them. But Minions.
At the end of the day, Minions, you know.
At the end of the day, Minions are
key.
They are key to making a shed load of marketing or money through advertising.
It's quite sad, really.
And products and things. It's always the way it goes though, like the most simplistic, predictable, boring things like that. Cars, Minions. They're always the ones that stick around for longest because you just get all these toys that are made from it that the kids love. Yeah, like you can't go wrong with a car with eyes. Unless it's Cars Life.
So obvious.
Yeah, and they've made so much money from that series. That's why they keep making them. I haven't seen Cars 3 yet, but I'm not really looking forward to it.
I can't believe that movie even came out.
What, Cars 3?
Yeah, I just feel like nobody making it just gave a shit.
I know. Well, that's just Pixar on a whole though, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, it is.
I watched a documentary about why am I blanking on it? Industrial Light and Magic, the effects house, they were created for Star Wars, the original, and they've stuck around for decades, doing things like Avatar,
really,
blah blah blah, all loads of big films, Transformers, shit like that. I can't remember what the link was to what I was just talking about.
I can't remember.
There was a link though.
We were talking about Pixar not caring.
That's right, yeah, because Pixar were created from that as well.
Oh, really?
From Industrial Light and Magic. Yeah, because it was pretty interesting actually the way they were. Because all thanks to George Lucas, that all of these like the CG renaissance that is everywhere, for better or worse. But he did completely revolutionize the entire way films are made with Industrial Light and Magic, and these like engineers and artists and everything and model makers all coming together and making these, just designing like really intricate technology, like these cameras that, because of some of the shots in Star Wars, they like if they wanted to make a TIE fighter TIE fighter fly across the screen, they'd have to film it on like a blue screen or green screen or whatever, so they composite it onto another frame with like the background and everything.
Yeah.
But you don't always want to have a static shot with something like that, because if you notice in the first Star Wars, there's lots of like motion with the camera as they're flying around.
I remember there's this one shot in the first Star Wars where it goes from this like on top of the Death Star, and then it goes like up and down into the
trench. Yeah,
and it like looks really good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's crazy.
But yeah, they like designed this one guy just designed this machine that you put a camera on, and it perfectly like you program like a motion, so you can use that same motion for different aspects and layer them on top of each other, so it all works perfectly.
That is clever. Didn't they do that kind of thing for The Hobbit?
Yeah, for the shots with like Gandalf and
all the dwarves.
Yeah, they either did perspective shots, or they filmed them separately.
Yeah, but
on sets that had like this, the right, what do you call it? Like size, proportions.
Yeah, because one big one small one.
Yeah. And they had two cameras that would mimic like the same movements on both sets.
Yeah. Wouldn't one of them have to do like half movements?
Yeah, they figured out all the like maths behind it.
That's crazy.
It's really complex just for things like that. And you would have thought like by the 2000s we would have things like that sorted, like making someone appear bigger than the other.
Yeah.
You would have thought it would be simple, but it's actually really complex.
Yeah, there's like a difference between like you and me standing on a green screen, like separately, and making you bigger, because that would obviously look fake.
Yeah.
But like when you watch The Hobbit,
it's seamless.
Like that scene where they're like sat at the table and stuff.
It's completely seamless.
It looks perfect.
Yeah. Well, like even in the original Lord of the Rings, like in the first movie when they're in Bilbo's house.
Yeah.
There's lots of like trickery going on. I think with that film, they didn't have that kind of technology yet, so they did the perspective shots where it's so interesting the way they built like the sets and everything, where the table, like half the table's over there, but the other half's like here. So they're sat there.
Right, yeah.
And the camera's angled in such a way where, so they had to act like not looking at each other, but looking at each other. It's really wild, all that stuff. And then again, when it came to the prequels, he basically invented a new way of making films just so he could make the prequels. Which is like good and bad, because his films aren't very good, but he introduced a technology for films, like for, films like Lord of the Rings or Avatar or whatever, to eventually be made. Yeah, it was generally quite interesting.
He's done a lot of good, that man.
Like, yeah, because he's just this maverick. Like, he hated the Hollywood system. He wanted to do everything in his power to not indulge in it. And people like that do tend to be the forerunners of
they make good and terrible things.
Yeah.
Sort of due to their own ego.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to reel yourself back when you created Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, it must be such a bizarre place to be in. Like, that's why everything after that he's done has just been complete garbage. Like, he tried to do that. I know he didn't direct it, but I think he wrote or produced that film about the like black pilots in World War II.
I think he did direct that. And he said he was like ahead of the curve. Like,
it's so embarrassing. And like when the film like bombed horribly, and he like he was accusing like Hollywood of being racist and shit. And it was like, no, the film just sucked.
Yeah.
The thing is only just gone live, so we don't have that many questions, but they're actually pretty good on the Jar Media Reddit. It seemed alright.
Well, that's a first.
I know, they've upped their game for this one. Well, sort of. No, I'm looking at them again. I'm not going to answer some of them. First question comes in from Memery Memeton.
Yeah.
You can help me with this one. When Alex talked about Dunkirk, he mentioned Nolanisms. Can he explain what those are, and why does he take issue with them? So the main...
It's kind of like an anime type thing.
That's what I was about to say.
A beat you to the punch, bitch.
Yeah, he loves, it's the exposition dump.
He loves feeling that he's way more intelligent than everyone else. So when we go on the dream, when we die, we go out. But this time, we won't.
I find it really hard to connect with any characters in his movies because...
He's got like designated characters to have a character and characters to just be there to tell you things.
Yeah.
Like, what's that guy's name? He's got like 12 names. He looks like a little...
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's the exposition dump character.
Yeah, he's literally nothing in Inception apart from like...
Yeah, like if you had to use one word to describe him, like what word would you use? Like he doesn't have a character.
Brown hair.
Like he's trying his best, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because he's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
But like he's not given anything to work with.
Like he designated like 2 or 3 characters to have some sort of backstory in that movie, and that is their character.
And I think it's fine. You don't have to like give every character this intense backstory.
No.
But when it's just so transparent.
Yeah.
Because he is quite a...
But I mean, like, compared to just take one character from Alien, and like they don't have any backstory, but they have such like a designated character. If you were writing a story with them, like you'd know what they'd say in certain situations. Whereas like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, don't even know his name in the movie.
Yeah.
Like what would he say? Like. In any given situation, he'd just explain it. It
is that anime problem that it's just these super high concept films that just to get it moving, they need a character who can just dump all this shit on you so you can understand the bare essentials of what's going on.
It's just like there are way better ways of doing it.
It does come across to me as kind of clumsy. After Inception is when I really started to notice it. It all comes down to the writing, because the actual like direction and cinematography, editing, like every other aspect is like near flawless in his films. So that's what really frustrates me, because it really stands out as being like this blemish on these otherwise pretty perfect movies.
Yeah.
But it's also the most important thing, arguably.
Well, yeah.
I mean, what does any of it mean if you don't care about anyone?
Yeah, that's the weird like disconnect with Nolan as well. He always tries to have like emotional bits in his movies.
Yeah, if he didn't bother with that kind of thing and he stayed cold and distant, and that was like the point, like a lot of Stanley Kubrick movies like that, where it does feel really almost like creepy in how detached everything feels and how meticulous it is. That on its own is like you can appreciate that on its own, but when it is like constantly juggling, I want it to be like that, but I also want it to be emotional. It never hits for me. That's what I mean by Nolanisms. It mostly is just down to like character writing, or just taking into account like Inception and Interstellar mostly, or in particular.
Interstellar is where it was like just ridiculous.
Yeah. With like the final act of that movie just being such...
It's like comical.
As soon as Matt Damon shows up, it's just like it becomes a completely different film. And the characters are just spouting out the most ridiculous dialogue, just things no human would ever say.
Well, it's just really like in the middle of that action scene, he starts headbutting thingy.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey's like, you know, if you do this, there's a 50% chance you're gonna die, and there's a 50% chance I'm gonna die. You willing to take that chance? And like, isn't there a smarter way you could have explained that kind of like? It's a cool idea for a fight. Yeah. But
I feel like it's obvious. Like if you've smashed your visor in an alien planet.
But like the idea, they've both got the glass things.
Yeah.
And one of them will break from the other's force.
Oh right, yeah.
That's what he's explaining.
There's like a more elegant way to write like a line like that. Yeah, it's weird. Because I do like his movies a lot, normally. I think he has made more films I like than ones I haven't. Because there are always so many things to like in the films that I do always make fun of. Like, there's a lot to like about Inception, there's a lot to like about Interstellar.
I like all of the movies that I've just said about.
Yeah. I've seen every film he's made, and I like all of them.
There's one I haven't seen.
Which?
About the Magic Man or something.
You would have seen that at some point. You've just forgotten about it.
No, I've never seen it.
You must have.
I've never seen it.
I don't know why I'm
because there's two. There's like
there's two?
At the same time, like two.
Oh yeah, there were two
Man
Magic
stories
movies
with like the exact same plot came out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I haven't seen either. One of them has Hugh Jackman in.
Yeah, that's the Nolan one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's one of the main characters.
Hugh Jackman and Cockney geezer.
Batman.
Michael Caine. Is it Michael Caine?
Michael Caine is in it as well.
Yeah. Michael Caine is always in
Nolan movies now. Hopefully that's answered the question. Can't think of how else I could elaborate on that.
Yeah. Nolan. I mean, the kind of soundtrack as well.
Well, Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer always does the same type of soundtrack for his movies.
Specifically for Nolan movies. Like, we'd been giving Hans Zimmer a lot of shit for it, but I think it's more a Nolan problem, as you suggested.
That's what I was saying after Dunkirk.
After Dark Knight, you really notice it.
Mm-hmm.
The way he uses music is he likes this very specific way of doing it. This way of building tension that is always the same in every one of the films after that. It's always like this plodding, repetitive, like industrial sound that he just likes, which doesn't help with the emotional aspect, because it holds no emotion for me.
No,
any of that music is always for the sake of like building tension or making something scary or anything like that for an action scene or something. Like, I never remember. I always the only music cues I remember from any Nolan film is when something like cinematic and bombastic is happening. It's never the like, small intimate moments. I remember from the music. Rank the Dank says, if you could make a movie starring The Rock, what would you make him do / be? So let's make a movie with The Rock that would actually use him properly and be a good movie. I think about what they did with Arnie, what worked for him. The Rock can speak English a little bit better than Arnie, so you got that as well.
I feel like that's kind of a detriment to The Rock.
Well, he's like, if you just look like a normal person, you probably could put him in a dramatic role.
Yeah, but you can't.
But he's just so
like with
huge.
Arnie, like his accent was part of the charm.
Yeah.
And he was meant to be like this American hero, and he was just like with this thick Austrian
weirdo.
Accent. I don't know. I'd give the Rock like a robot arm or something.
Could he work in like a? Let's think of some like franchises. Could he work in Star Wars?
No.
Could he work in like a Marvel movie?
Yes.
As who? We've already got like Dave Bautista. There's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
We've already got the huge guy playing the.
I feel like The Rock would make a good Gorilla Grodd. Like, not CG, just in a costume.
They would never do that now, because I'm picturing like Gorilla Grodd in the trailer with the music going, and then he bursts through and it's just, and then it cuts to July 23rd.
The Flash.
He's actually really difficult to do anything with.
Yeah.
Because he's so limited because of how
because of what he looks like.
Yeah.
Because you can't like relate to that.
No.
You can't relate to like a little just walking superhero.
Yeah. But at the same time, he doesn't work as a superhero, because all the best superheroes at least are relatable in some way. Like Superman, while being strong, still looks like a human. You know?
What, you don't think The Rock looks like a human?
He looks like he's the Hulk, without being able to go down to the.
So did
Bruce
Arnie.
Banner.
That's why Arnie was good at playing a robot.
He was ridiculous. but when he's walking down the street as the Terminator, you could in real life see someone in that leather and the sunglasses and be like, that's just a human,
Yeah.
a normal person.
I don't know. I think
who's pretty epic. But then if you saw The Rock, there would just be something like a bit more.
No, it's because he's The Rock now to us. Like, we can't see him as not The Rock. So
Yeah.
like,
It's actually a real like problem
yeah,
for him. Like, what can you do with him?
I wouldn't have him as a main character.
No. He doesn't work as a main character. Like in the only film he's been good in is Moana, because that character is just The Rock,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, it's actually really well, the thing
It's
is,
like impossible. I can't think of anything.
come up with just like a random movie idea.
Guy's wife is killed and he's got to get revenge.
Okay. And now fit The Rock in. Did The Rock kill his wife?
No, The Rock would be the nice main guy, right? Whose wife got killed.
Oh, so you're putting The Rock in the main role?
So he has to be the villain then?
No, but
He's too not like
I
likable
know.
to be a villain. He's not intimidating enough to be a villain. Is that what it is?
Do you think he could work as like you know, Mad Max,
Mm-hmm.
the brother?
No argue. Because I inhaled.
Why does he do that when you inhale?
Because it's like something's happening.
Right.
I think he could.
Both dogs got all.
Very specifically, he could work as like, you know, that character in Mad
My
Max.
baby brother.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He could, but then it would almost be distracting that it's the Rock in that role. I think he's
But what if
actually
you put
really
like
limited.
a metal mask on him or something?
Yeah, and covered up that huge tribal tattoo or something.
Yeah. Give him a robot arm.
Give him a robot arm.
So like sci-fi Mad Max.
But that's so specific. Would
I know.
he have a speaking role?
I feel like if he had a metal mask, he could speak, so it'll be all like Baney. Yeah.
I am the Rock. It's actually really difficult. That kind of proves to me how limited you are with him.
Yeah.
Like even on Baywatch, seeing him running around the beach was like, it's something wrong about this. It's like putting a DreamWorks character into a Pixar movie, you know? Like it just clashes.
You think The Rock is from like
He's like
another realm?
otherworldly. He is like a race from like Guardians of the Galaxy of just these superhumans, these super creatures. And he landed down on a pod.
But what about-
we have him now?
I don't see why you think Arnie like worked though, and The Rock doesn't. Is it the color of his skin?
No, it's not that at all. I think when I think of The Rock, I think of someone who is bigger than Arnie. I think of someone who is physically much taller.
Yeah, I feel like The Rock is taller than Arnie.
Because he's huge. He's like 6'4" or 5", I think. The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Arnie's like 6'1", I think, 6'2".
Surely he's like 6'3".
Who, Arnie?
Yeah, he was a big guy.
He was a big guy, yeah. I don't know.
Do you remember that part in Predator where like he meets his friend after a long time? They're like arm wrestling.
Yeah, that's just like, hey, can we have a shot where we show our muscles?
Yeah. What a great movie.
I forgot about Predator. I was thinking more Terminator, Total Recall kind of role, where there's a bit more to it than just muscle man who shoots gun a lot.
Yeah.
Like he had to play a robot in Terminator. That is a really good question because I can't think of anything. If you can think of anything you can do with him, tell us in the comments because I have no goddamn clue. Nothing. I can't. Like I couldn't cast him in anything apart from the shit he's already in. He could play. Like there are little aspects of the Fast and Furious movies where you're like, that works. Like, do you remember how completely ludicrous it is when, I think in Fast 6, is it? He's got that cast on his arm.
Yeah.
And he's like,
No,
he just tenses his arm and it explodes off him and he says, Daddy's going to work.
Yeah, he fits in that franchise specifically.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the Justice League with cars.
But it's just a shame it's, not very good.
Yeah.
if it really embraced the like breaking cast off by tensing your arm shit and just went so goofy.
No, but it has embraced that, but like it does nothing interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
The action sucks.
Yeah.
Unless it's got Jason Statham involved.
Mm-hmm. He's not that capable as a physical stuntsman. The Rock. You know, so that like in that film, every Jason Statham fight scene was really fluid. You actually could see what was going on.
Yeah.
Every time we went to The Rock, loads of cuts all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. The prison bit.
I guess. But most of the action comes from him being really.
Yeah, just like
physical
running into people
instead of being agile, because he can't. He's just this. He probably weighs the same amount as a small car.
Do you think he would be good as one of the armless guys from Batman?
Well, they just don't say anything.
If he,
or they speak Russian or something.
They've got like Russian accents, but if you like put him in a clown mask or something, CG'd out an arm, and then had him fight Batman.
I don't know. He's impossible to cast. Anything like that.
Yeah.
If you would like, no, I would. This is from Einhorn Elk. I would like to ask 2 questions. Number 1, if you could boycott one company because of unethical reasons, which would it be? Number 2, what's your take on EDM, electronic dance music? Let's do number 2 first.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about EDM.
No, neither do I.
I like electronic music, but I probably don't like electronic dance music.
Yeah.
A lot of dance music is pretty
basic
and repetitive, and it all sounds the same.
I agree with that. What was the first question again?
If you could boycott a company.
Ooh. Activision.
Yeah.
I pretty much already do boycott them.
If I would say any one of those publishers, they're all as bad as each other. EA, Activision,
Ubisoft. I feel
really
like
bad.
Ubisoft recently has made the best games out of those 3 though. Actually.
Well, they made the same game over and over.
I'm thinking of literally one game. And that's
Siege?
Siege.
Yeah. It's a shame because like you want to support these franchises that you like, but they're always attached to just like the worst company in the world.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, even like it's just Activision that I think like no good games come out of it. In my opinion. Because like
there's no game I'd care about.
At least EA has Battlefield, Titanfall, Ubisoft,
Battlefront now.
Battlefront, whatever.
I'm thinking of like games people
Baby
care about.
game. No, I'm talking about good games though.
Okay, good games.
Battlefield.
They had Dead Space, so they ruined that.
Dead Space. They ruined Mass Effect.
Mhm.
But like,
that's what happens. They just ruin every franchise they have, and then you stop caring about them.
But they're always coming out with new good stuff, much like Titanfall.
Another game they screwed.
Not like Andromeda screwed though.
No.
Because like the actual game is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like probably the best FPS to come out in a long time. I just realised all the games I was going to say that are good are all like first-person shooters.
Fanboy.
I don't even
FPS drone.
like FPS games that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think game publishers are a good choice.
I think Bethesda are honestly pretty shitty.
Yeah, they are. Well, they produce some good games though.
Yeah, but I mean,
people really like Dishonored, Evil Within, Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein is the one I was going to say.
That's quite a few games.
Yeah, like I said, EA and Ubisoft both make good games as well, but they're actually pretty shitty. I think the way Bethesda actually make their games as well, like, kind of shows.
Yeah.
Skyrim, as much as I don't really like it, is probably going to be their peak.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking too. I don't think they'll ever reach that again.
No.
Like, no one cares about Fallout 4.
That, like, Skyrim actually had a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, so much just
Well,
stuff.
it's because now huge RPGs.
Well, they're kind of the norm now.
Yeah, then that on its own isn't impressive anymore. So now they have to do other things.
Well, yeah. When The Witcher comes out,
yeah,
and
it just put them to shame.
Mm-hmm.
It just crushed them into dust
Yeah.
in terms of literally everything. Because like even if you say, I don't like the map. It's too big in The Witcher. Well, you can say, well, look at the like storytelling. Look at the cutscenes. Look at
storytelling,
voice
cutscenes,
acting,
gameplay. Voice acting,
music. Like all of it is just like
on another level.
Yeah. It does put things like that to shame, and then Fallout 4 farts out, and it's like
after The Witcher.
Yeah,
it comes out after The Witcher, and
it looks like a 360 game, and has a stupid story, and like it looks just like a grey and yellow game. It's not impressive anymore.
No, not at all.
But it like sells enough that like they're fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and like.
I think out of all of these publishers, though, Activision is the worst.
I would definitely agree.
Look what they just do to all those studios. They suck all the personality and creativity and life out of every studio. They get their greasy mitts on and they just wring them dry until they're just worthless drones, and then they dump them when they don't have money for them anymore.
I can't believe what they've done with COD as well.
I know. Well, look what they've done to Bungie.
Yeah.
So lame. It's so lame. Because I heard on the All Skulls On podcast, shout out to that podcast, I enjoy it. They were talking about Destiny 2, and they were saying how ridiculous it is that they left Microsoft for more creative freedom and wound up with Activision, who are arguably 10 times worse than Microsoft.
They are worse. Like, I would. Then
they brought up the good point of what other company had the infrastructure in terms of like servers and that insane online system and support for this ambitious game they set out to create.
Yeah.
I can't see like an Ubisoft ever doing anything.
I feel like the main reason they left Microsoft is because Microsoft would have had them doing Halo forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They wanted to do Destiny, but
yeah. It's a shame they couldn't have met halfway or something.
I know. I feel like it's half Activision's fault and half Bungie's fault, because Bungie are sort of known to like manage time poorly.
They're
a lot of mistakes. They're like 100% ambition, but they go with these companies that want to.
They want to
like,
release a product and actually make money. Yeah.
These games, one game a year, like that's a stupid deal for Bungie to make. They need like CD Projekt Red. Times. Yeah.
Because otherwise, the product part overshadows the like artistic part.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing. It's completely forgettable shit.
It's so annoying though, because you would have thought like Bungie, they'd be in a place where they could like bargain.
Yeah.
Where they could say like,
no, we're making 3 games over 10 years.
Yeah.
Or something. That's achievable.
Mm-hmm. But we just focused on video game companies.
Of course, there are like. The problem is like to boycott companies, you need to sort of know about them.
Yeah.
A bit. Like I would say there was certain.
I feel like Warner Bros would be a good one to boycott, because look at them. They're like in charge of DC, right?
Yeah.
And look at what they've done with that.
I watched Wonder Woman the other day.
Yeah?
Why? Like, it's just nothing.
Is it just like it's only good compared to the other shit that DC has farted up?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. Nothing above that. It's just totally flatline fine. It's what it is you know Captain America, the First Avenger. It's Captain America, the First Avenger, but it doesn't have that awful third act where the pacing just is completely lost to the wind.
I heard the third act is pretty bad though.
It is bad, but it's
compared to the rest of the movie.
It's not for like a pacing reason. It's just because it just turns into a big fight for 30 minutes.
The First Avenger is like hilarious. I remember we've watched it, you and I, together, like, multiple times. And both times it starts off like, this is okay.
Yeah, this isn't nearly as bad as we thought it was at all.
Yeah, the second time round we were like...
And then it gets to the third act and it's just... They just press fast forward and you're just
there's like a montage suddenly. And then it's just, like, the climax.
Because they have to get past Bucky falling out of the train and they have to get to Captain America in the ice.
Yeah. Really shit movie. But yeah, Warner Bros. They fucked up games. They fucked up movies.
So the way all these companies like that release media do it is they're always shitty. They're always shitty, but they have artists you really care about. Like there's the money. Well, there's the cunts. There's the money, and then the artists. The artists have to have the money from someone to be able to make the thing. So they're like a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I guess they were looking for answers more like, I don't know, really immoral, like food producers or something. People that don't care about the environment or animals.
Like Tesco or something.
Yeah. Big companies like that. They're like a supermarket if you don't have Tesco in your country.
I think that, like, they're called Aunt Bessie. They make like pies and stuff.
Yeah, and like
pastries,
potatoes and shit like that.
Boycott them. Like, just never buy their products.
Why?
They're awful. Like, not for like any reason beyond that, but like, I had an Aunt Bessie pie once.
Oh right.
and I cut into it, you know, like you do with a pie, and it's just like empty, and all this liquid just pours out. And there's like 2 bits of meat.
50p.
It was from Iceland, so.
This episode has been sponsored by Aunt Bessie's Pie.
We got to buy one and record it being opened.
Like in Cooking with Ruben 2 that never showed up.
Yeah.
That's basically what that whole episode was. Do we want to go over an hour or just leave it? Because we've got 2 minutes before it
2 minutes.
I reckon this has been a pretty decent one.
Yeah, it has.
The broadcasts are always way more
chilled out
with it. We actually stay on topics
talking about
for a
Star
bit.
Wars.
It's always just movies though. So.
And video games.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, Red Dead 2 trailer. Actual look at the game. There's a bow and arrow.
Is there? I thought it was alright. I wasn't that impressed.
I went and watched some Red Dead 1 trailers. And I was like, okay, this Red Dead 2 trailer is fucking incredible.
In comparison,
Yeah.
Things have changed a lot in nearly a decade.
Rockstar is so good at making trailers.
They're very good at trailers, but I was thinking more about like the plot and the characters kind of thing. Because John Marston is so like, I like you immediately. Mm-hmm. I don't like this guy yet.
This guy, well, the thing is, John Marston's like been a bad person then come out the other side. He's got more wisdom. This guy is still a bad person.
I mean, down to like the voice and everything though.
I like this guy's voice a lot. I've seen you in my leisure.
That's just because Cowboys are epic.
Cowboys are fucking epic.
Of course, I'm still going to buy it and everything, but...
Yeah, hell yeah.
I wanted more of a trailer with the tone of the first trailer. That's all.
That trailer was weirdly, like, emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
Any final words?
Don't look back.
Stop it, you're making me hyped, and we've still got ages. Thanks for tuning in to this episode.
We'll see you guys on the next Other Joe show.
I'm sorry for looking like a flannel.
Looking like a flannel?
Yeah.
What?
I'm just looking like a flannel today. Like a flannel soaked in fucking dog shit.
Billy went and started licking Mum's, like, flannel. It was hanging on the bar.
Really?
And Billy was thirsty. She was
It's like that scene where they look away and like the cat. It's a piss on the flannel in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, it smells like vacuum cleaner. Oh, I love the smell of vacuum cleaner.
Hello, baby. Hello. Little baby.
My tea done. I'm hungry. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Has he done another one?
I think it's Max. I think it is Max.
Oh my god.
It smells like shit.
It smells
actually in the room.
Oh, it smells like green poo.
No, not the green poo.
Green poo was the fucking worst.